Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Sunday preview. The Kroot are on the prowl. The Kroot are on the move. The most adaptable of the Tau Empire's auxiliary forces are sharpening their knives ahead of the hunt in this week's Sunday preview, alongside new Warhammer Underworlds releases and a selection of Necromunda miniatures and cards. Next week also marks the release of the first episode of the long-awaited animation Broken Lance. Read on and find out more. So there's a little video to go along with this, but we're going to take a look at the full article. Alright, so first and foremost for Warhammer 40,000, we have the Kroot Hunting Pack. And this is going to be the early release box, including the new Tau Codex and cards. So first access to the Codex, and then of course the cards included as well. And then a ton of new Kroot models also. As a matter of fact, every model in this set is brand new. So very, very cool. And always nice to see these early access boxes with a bunch of new miniatures, not just like one character. The Kroot are the most ubiquitous of the main alien auxiliaries that work with the Tau Empire. These ferocious hunters are masters of fieldcraft and guerrilla warfare, harassing their enemies with unparalleled flurry and no small hunger. The Kroot Hunting Pack army set contains 20 new plastic Kroot Carnivores and a Krootox Rider, led by a veteran Kroot Warshaper. On top of that, a Flesh Shaper empowers the pack through butchery rituals while their impetuous Kroot Rampagers barrel into the enemy lines. This box is also the first place you'll be able to get the Codex Tau Empire, which contains all the rules for the miniatures in the box and the rest of the Tau Empire forces, and comes with a unique artwork. You also get a pack of 44 cards containing an army rule card, a double-sided drone rules card, 4 combat patrol data sheets, and 38 Tau Empire data sheets. The Codex and cards come in a special cardboard slipcase with an elastic strap so you can tote them around to your games. Alright, so very cool. Definitely excited for the Tau Codex. Hopefully it is a little more like internally balanced, so there's some more like viable options and you don't find yourself sort of gravitating towards the same like strong units. Definitely looking forward to what the Kroot have to add. Really excited for like the new Kroot models. I was expecting them to reveal more Kroot stuff by now. I think they like initially when they showed off the box set said this was only like half of the stuff, and they've showed a few things since then, but definitely didn't feel like it was everything. So I'm not sure if there's more coming or if that was it. Also, I'm really excited about the Kroot stuff. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. My main argument with so much focus on the Kroot was that I felt like the Tau might actually get neglected because there's only so much like time and resources GW can allocate to the army. Also very excited to see what the new combat patrol has in store for it. So with each new codex, we've seen a new combat patrol. So no doubt as soon as these codexes are like officially talked about, we'll see what the new combat patrol is for the Tau. So if you are after the old one, which is a nice box set with the ghost tail inside, those will be disappearing, no doubt, very soon. So if you are after that old combat patrol, which is a really nice one and a good value, don't sleep on that one. I'm sure the new one's going to be cool, but it does seem like we're seeing a little bit of like that shrinkflation aspect in the new combat patrols. So very exciting, very cool. Definitely going to be picking up this box set. All right, and then moving over to Warhammer Underworlds, we have Xandra's Gravebreakers. Xandra and Fairlane have had their love torn apart by the terrible curse that has turned Fairlane into a snarling fiend. Calling on the bestial magic of Gur and the forbidden power of necromancy, Xandra has raised a band of animated corpses to plunder the glacial depths of the Death Gorge and discover some way of returning her lover to his previous state. This new warband comes with a Rivals deck that uses undead thralls to unearth powerful upgrades of Xandra and Fairlane. So some cool new models here, only 5 in the set. We've got like a powerful sort of like necromancer character. And then obviously the beast, sort of like a Beauty and the Beast type thing going on here. And then a couple of like undead minions. Pretty nice looking models, very cool. Alright, and then we have the Rymlocked Relics Rivals deck. Some say the ancient ice encasing the blood magic artifacts steep within the Death Gorge can be thawed out through the shedding of blood in combat. Rymlock's Relic breathes frosty new life into your warbands with special Rymlock upgrades, whose powerful abilities must be coaxed out with thaw counters across the game. As the deck doesn't come with any Gambit spell cards, it can be used with any warband in the game. Alright, and then we had the Rivals of Mirrored City. So 4 old warbands coming back with some new cards and rules to be able to use in the current edition of Warhammer Underworlds. 4 classic warbands from the early days of Warhammer Underworlds return. Revitalized, Zarbag's Gits, Thorns of the Briar Queen, Mollog's Mob, and Spiteclaw's Swarm are all returning in the Rivals of Mirrored City, which contains all 4 warbands and 4 new Rivals decks for each, featuring refined and updated cards. So this is very cool. Definitely excited to see these models coming back, and then also like viable ways to play them for people who actually do play Warhammer Underworlds. I know there were some people that were kind of bummed because it's a 4-pack only, but I think this makes it a lot more viable for Games Workshop and just for these to be able to be like readily available. Because the problem is when they create like 4 warbands like this, typically they want to create like however many they're going to sell so they don't end up with a bunch of one or not enough of another. And that oftentimes is a problem. So by grouping these up in 4, they have like one single higher price point item they can sell. And then for them, they get to unload an even amount of all of them. So if you're only after one of these warbands, of course that can be a bad thing, or if one is less popular or more popular. But this way, Games Workshop will continue doing stuff like this in the future. Because if they produce all 4 of these warbands individually and say like only 1 or 2 of them sold, they'll be more hesitant to do this again. But when they put them all together like this, as long as just the overall like package sells well, they'll continue doing this. And that's what we want to see, obviously, for access to like the awesome Underworlds models that are getting really hard to get. And then of course for people that want to actually play the game as well. So while there's definitely some downsides to it, if you only want one of these warbands, the best thing to do is find a friend and split with them, or find somebody else who's selling off like the individuals. But this is overall better for the game and better for the player base. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. Alright, and then moving on to Necromunda, we've got the Delaque, Rogue Doc, and Gang Lookout. The shadowy, smooth-headed gangers of the Delaque are some of the weirdest weirdos in all of Necromunda. Rumor has it they physically communicate with species of subterranean fish, regardless of their precise predictions. Any good gang needs a gang lookout to keep a weather watch for trouble, as well as a rogue doc to patch up gangers when trouble inevitably comes knocking. This 2-pack is an expert kit made for forgeworld resin. Alright, so some resin Delaques coming here, a doctor and a lookout. Pretty cool models overall. You could probably convert these relatively easy. Alright, and then we've got some Delaque Ash Waste upgrades. Survivors in the Ash Waste of Necromunda require specialized equipment and access to life-giving water. Members of the Delaque gang that venture into these inhospitable wastes, being special rebreathers, backpacks, and water flasks to help them weather such harsh environments. This expert kit is made from forgeworld resin and contains 10 heads plus 2 sets of 5 backpacks and 10 flasks. So pretty cool. Definitely a fan of the rebreathers. Makes sense to have like some canteens as well. And then of course cool Delaque themed backpacks. Very nice. Alright, and then we have the Delaque and Zone Mortalis Gang Tactics cards. There are new vehicle tactic cards for Delaque, while their second Gang Tactics pack gets a reprint. They both contain 18 tactics cards and 8 blank cards for vehicles and fighters respectively. The claustrophobic confines of the Zone Mortalis meanwhile require a discreet tactical approach. Supported by a pack of 26 cards, which include 12 gang-specific tactics cards, 12 universal gang tactics cards, and 2 rules cards. And then pretty cool to see the Broken Lance, basically like some knights battling it out, coming to Warhammer Plus. So if you're after those animations and you like big stompy robots, Broken Lance is coming this week. Very, very cool. So that is it for this week's releases. I am definitely really excited for the Tau Codex and cards. Love these special edition box sets loaded with brand new miniatures as well. So really looking forward to these new models. They obviously look awesome and are all plastic, which is a massive step up. Huge, huge glow up for the Kroot. And then, of course, we'll see like the hounds and some of that other stuff a little bit later in the year. We do typically see like a couple month delay between these initial box sets launching and then the actual individual codex release and then the remainder of the range. So if this is going up for pre-order next week, it's going to be out early April. So more likely going to see the actual range coming out sometime in May or early June. So still a ways away for the actual like Tau main release. So there's definitely still time for them to show off some more models. But at this point in time, if they haven't talked about it, if they haven't shown it yet, it might not be coming. So let me know what you're most excited about. Are you going to be picking up the Kroot Hunting Pack? Are you looking forward to the actual like Tau Codex and rules? Is this going to be your first dabble into the Tau army? Or are you just expanding on an existing force? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and it's almost hunting season. And I'm out of here.